Wow, good morning.
Morning.
Wow, a lot of people here on a snowy, cold day. I'm Jeff White, and I serve on your board of directors. And I want to give a welcome to everybody gathered here, whether you're on site or you're online. And even if this is your first time here or you've been here for a long time, we're delighted that you're here. We're doing a new thing here with the Sunday shift. A new board welcome too, so excuse me if I'm slow. We're doing a new thing here on the Sunday shift, as it's called. We've started our morning off with the first fellowship service at 9, and then on-site coffee fellowship and religious education at 9:30. And this is the full Sunday service. And we're a multi-generational congregation, so all ages are welcome at our fellowship hall in here during the service. If we hear some sounds from young ones, well, or older ones, let's just try to enjoy them as part of our growing and vital community. So, newcomers, the best way to get more information is to sign our virtual guest book, either by the QR code on your bulletin or at the welcome table at the fireside room. Now, online people, please plan to join our Zoom coffee hour after the service. Just go to the UUFA's website, the website, and check the button to join. For those on site, we'll have more information after the service, and be sure to come back next week before the full service, that is 9:30 to 10:30, to enjoy coffee and treats and fellowship. Oh, and now some announcements. The annual Interfaith Service honoring the life and legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is today at 2 p.m. at the Unity Church on 9th Street. The citywide celebration for MLK is tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. downtown at the City Auditorium. Now, it's that time of year again, time to sign up for Mystery Pals Children, Youth, and Adults will be paired as Mystery Pals, exchanging cues, notes, drawings, and small surprises throughout February before identities are revealed at a special reveal party in early March. Adults do not need to have a child in RE to participate, and those who sign up will be paired with a child or youth outside of their own family, offering a simple way to build intergenerational connections. The deadline to sign up is next Monday, January 26th, and more information is in the latest weekly email. Oh, and Social Justice Circle today is in room 3 and online at 11:45 a.m. today, not at noon, as it says, I think, in the bulletin. So 11:45 today in room 3. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we see, I would not be afraid. I wouldn't know any fear, just as long as you stand by me. So stand by me, won't you stand by me, darling? stand by me. Yes, stand by me. Won't you stand by me? Oh, darling, won't you stand by me? And if the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains should tumble to the sea, I won't cry. No, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. Stand by me, stand by me. Oh, darling, stand by me. Won't you stand by me? Won't you stand by me? Oh, darling, if you stand by me.
The words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. call us into fellowship today. This is where we are. Where do we go from here? First, we must massively assert our dignity and worth. We must stand up amidst a system that still oppresses and develop an unassailable and majestic sense of values. What is needed is a realization that power without love is reckless and abusive, and that love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love, implementing the demands of justice. And justice at its best is power, correcting everything that stands against love. This is what we must see as we move on. So come, let us gather in fellowship. I invite those at home to light a chalice alongside us as we light our chalice here, saying these words together. Love is the spirit of this place, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So please rise in body or spirit as we sing our first song, We Are a Gentle, Angry People.
Sing I love it when we sing all 6 verses. We get good and oxygenated. We breathe together. Do you know it's the only time really when we're with a group of people, big group of people, and we breathe in sync together. That's a good reason to sing together. This is a time for all ages. And I'm thinking about perspective. So I'm going to get a different one. I'm going to come back here and get Denny's perspective. See how it looks back here.
It looks great.
Does it look good?
Yes.
Good.
It does.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. It is a good group, isn't it? Yeah, you can count from back here, right? To see who's here. That's right. That's right. Now, young ones or not so young ones, I want us all to get a little different perspective. How do you feel about getting up from your seat and going to a different place in the room? You can go anywhere you want. You can go up on the platform if you want. You want to get up? You want to go somewhere different? Come on, let's get up and go somewhere different. Excellent. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, that's good. Nicely done. So, I want you to take a look around. Does it look different where you are than it did where you were sitting? Is the room a little different? Do you see something a little different in the room? Right, so we see different perspectives depending on where we are. Right? Anybody want to stand on a chair? Don't go, okay. All right, go, Will. Excellent, excellent. How does it look from up there?
Everybody looks short.
Everybody looks short. We get a different perspective. Okay, go to a different spot. Now, for the folks who've remained seated, your perspective is also different because you're seeing people moving around. We don't see that all the time in here, right? That's right. Now take a look around and see how it looks different. Many of us come in and we usually sit in the same spot, right? You know where your spot is. Mike, always know I'm going to find you and Meredith. Right? It's sort of that center back on this side. Right? But people tend to sit in the same kind of spot. This is Ralph's spot, and Sue and Larry I can find you there. Carol's always on the aisle, right? Kay is often up here in the front. Different people in different places. So when we sit in a different spot, we're by different people. We have a slightly different experience. And this is my way of talking about pluralism. We talk about in our values, we've talked about justice, equity, transformation, pluralism. What does it mean? Well, pluralism really means that every person has worth and dignity and also their own experiences and their own theologies. And we respect those other theologies. We don't have to agree with them. Some I don't. But we do recognize that if you're standing there, and I'm standing here, and we're both looking at the screen back there, we're seeing it from a different perspective. Pluralism is a lot about a different perspective on a shared experience, a shared space. So we're going to talk about that a little bit with world religions today, but I wanted to kind of demonstrate it to see how we see the world differently depending on where we are. And so when you come into Fellowship Hall next time, oh good, here come Sue and Jamie. We're all standing up and in different places. You'll hardly know where to go. So when you come in, try a different seat. I mean, don't kick Sue and Larry out of their seats, but you could try a different seat the next time that you come in and see how you see things differently. Okay, I'll invite you to go back to a seat. You choose. Okay, now oh, you did move a little bit. I see you. Excellent. Oh, that makes me happy. Each week when we gather, we share our time and our talent and our treasure. We take an offering when we're together, and half of it, every week, half of it goes out our door to an organization in town or in the state or in the nation that aligns with our values. Okay, every week. When we have a fifth Sunday in the month, now we're going to send it to Minister's Discretionary Fund, but that's still people helping people. Each month we decide on what's going to be, you decide what's going to be our offering recipient. And in January, all this month, half of our non-pledge offering is donated to the Iowa Migrant Movement for Justice. They are powerful folks. And their mission is to build a movement for justice led by immigrants and refugees, providing high-quality legal services and community empowerment through organizing. I want to say one thing. I had a link in my newsletter article this week to sign a petition. Some of you linked on it, and it didn't go where it was supposed to go. I'll make sure that that link gets out in our social media this week and in my newsletter next week. It was for Iowa Movement for Justice, Migrant Movement for Justice. As always, the other half of our non-pledge offering stays here in the fellowship to help us connect with each other, to do good work, and to build this vibrant community. We're going to pass the baskets here in Fellowship Hall like we always do, and as always, you can give online through our website. If you're visiting today, please know that your presence is gift enough. Reggie?
Am I up? Oh, okay. So many things people believe. Kelli said it better than I would. So many things that we believe, and so many things we don't understand with what other people believe. This song is entitled Magical World, where I just make a lot of references to different religions. One of them that might be more esoteric than others is, I don't know if you're familiar with cargo cults in South Pacific, and John Frum, who flies a magic plane that will deliver things to natives. Just thought I'd throw him in. Magical World is the name of this one. And we're living in a magical world. Yeah, we're living in a magical world where the stars all shine like diamonds and the moon shines like a pearl. Yeah, we're living in a magical world. Walking on the water, they turn water into wine, and 1 billion people are silent, spinning towards some holy shrine. Angels flying through the sky, they catch you if you fall. Someone watching overhead who answers every call, 'cause we're living in a magical world. Yeah, we're living in a magical world, where the stars all shine like diamonds, the moon shines like a pearl. We're living in a magical world, where you can live 1,000 lifetimes till you finally get it right, and you join the holy everything, where your spirit can take flight. An ocean waiting for you, a higher place to be. You dissolve into the water, where you feel your soul set free. And John from flies to islands, sailing in his magic plane, bearing gifts to natives, no need to explain. And a prophet moved a mountain, and a prophet raised the dead. All those prophets talk of peace and all the glory days ahead, 'cause we're living in a magical world. Yeah, we're living in a magical world, where the stars all shine like diamonds, the moon shines like a pearl. Yeah, we're living in a magical world. And the world sits on a turtle, and the sun rolls through the sky, water splashing in a fountain that never will run dry. There's magic in the earth, there's magic in the sea. Well, there's magic in the music, there's magic in you and me, and we're living in a magical world. Yeah, we're living in a magical world, where the stars all shine like diamonds, the moon shines like a pearl. We're living in a magical world. Yeah, we're living in a magical world.
Indeed, we are. Thank you, Reggie. There's a poem from Karen Salmonson that's been making the rounds this week. Maybe you've seen it. It's just landed for me. You get the bad news and the sunrise in the same day. You cry over the headlines, and then you laugh at a baby wearing a hat shaped like a bear. This is the dual citizenship of being alive. Rage and reverence, grief and grace. You are allowed to feel both. You are allowed to scream. And notice how good the soup is. Let it all in. The dual citizenship of being alive. This is what we do each week when we talk about joys and sorrows, when we share our stories with each other, when we allow ourselves to be known, when we lift into this space our griefs and the grace that comes our way. We carry it. We carry all of it. And it is too much to carry alone, so we carry it together. Here we practice opening that muscle and recognizing that we each have a muscle that we're opening. We have one joy to note this week. Amanda McIntosh, our communication and membership specialist, marks her 1-year anniversary at the UU FAMs this week. So if you, yes. Amanda's not here today, but when you see her a little later, if you see her in the week, be sure, or next week, please be sure and mention that to her. Have we got visitors outside? Yep. Who do we have, deer? Yeah. Nice, nice. Grace comes to the hillside. If you've seen a Facebook post or an Instagram post or have been in part of our newcomers class or any of that, Amanda's responsible, so we're really glad to have her here. I'll note that these beautiful flowers here are from the memorial service for Pat Brooks that was held on Friday at Ryman Gardens. So Pat's son Mark contacted me yesterday and said we'd like to bring them by, and so I was glad to meet him on a very cold day and get them inside. We'll take a moment of quiet to allow ourselves to lift into this shared space the names of individuals or groups or ideas like democracy that we are holding close, that we lift either in joy or in sorrow in our shared space. Betty and Wayne, Charlie. Immigrants, trans folks. For all that is named and unnamed, let us not be numb to the grace and grief of the world. Let it all in. Let's sing together.
The ethicist Lori Zoloth wrote, "Religion has been a great historical source for people interested in reasons to love their neighbors and vulnerable people because religion doesn't disregard the broken. In a culture that valorizes youth and fitness and health, religion still remains powerful, in part because it understands the fragility of human life."
This week, I have been, as I prepared for today, I've been singing Dr. King's favorite hymn in my head and out loud and in the shower and wherever I was in the car this week. Some of you know it. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand I am tired. I am weak. Lord, I am worn. Lead me on through the night. Lead me on into the light. I sing precious love. Precious love, take my hand, lead me on. I set myself a task this week to weave 3 threads together, and this song, this lament, this prayer was helpful to me as I did it. Today is World Religions Day, founded in 1950 by the Baha'i Faith to promote harmony and understanding and mutual respect among religions. Tomorrow we celebrate Martin Luther King Day, which celebrates what would have been Dr. King's 97th birthday on January 15th. Yes, isn't it something to think of him as an old man? We only know him and see him as a young, vibrant man. And our monthly theme is practicing resistance. So how to weave together world religion and the message of Dr. King and practicing religion? Well, in fact, they just all wanted to go together. That was not hard to do. Speaking of perspectives and thinking of different world religions, sometimes we hear this old metaphor that each religion is a pathway up the same mountain, a different pathway up the mountain. Have you heard this? I'm trying to move away from this metaphor a little bit myself. If you'll forgive me for mixing metaphors, that one flattens the difference between different religions and theologies. Really, they're not all going to the same point. If you believe your point is the only point, they're not all going to the same point. But a tapestry or a quilt, I think, is a really excellent metaphor for different religions. Each of these pieces is individual, and they come together in this unified, harmonious whole. They are stitched together, they're interrelated. There are images that we recognize. The birds, I had the birds on my stole made to match the birds up here. You gave me this stole and let me design it. Thank you very much. Some of you recognize your own fabrics from in here, your shirt or your skirt or your pants. The children that are on the quilts were taken, the model, some of the children of this congregation, including Nancy Tepper's children and others, were models for and photographs for these children that are on here. Different religions have a different emphasis, and I think the quilt is a good way to think of that as a harmonious whole. There's strength in diversity. A tapestry becomes stronger and more complex through the various threads and textures. Our perspective shifts. Some of you came up close, and if you get close to it, you see different things than you do if you're in the back of the room. Interconnected, unity without homogeneity. That's how we can think about world religions, different religions, and how we can respect them and understand them a little bit. Dr. King was a Southern Baptist minister, deeply connected to the Judeo and Christian ethic. I want you to hear me. I'm not saying Judeo-Christian as if it is one thing that ends in Christianity, but Judeo and Christian ethic. That "and" is an important distinction there. In Judaism and in the Hebrew faith, the prophets were all about resistance to oppression. Their message was oppression exists. We have a covenant with God. God will protect us, and our work is to act in opposition to oppression. The great prophet Micah, who was talking about religion shouldn't be all about clanging cymbals and wearing your big old symbols on your dress when you're on the news. It wasn't all about clanging cymbals and outward shows and all of that about religion. Micah said, what does the Lord require of you but to do justice? It is an action to do justice, to love mercy, hello, empathy, compassion, and to walk humbly with your God. What is required of us as human beings but to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly on this earth? It couldn't be clearer, this message of resistance. And Dr. King was well versed in the stories of the prophets. Amos, may justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream, he said frequently. And of course, the message of Jesus was all about resistance to empire. It was preaching the word of love for your neighbor. Preaching the message of love for your neighbor, those who do not look like us, to welcome the immigrant. Those words are there. That's the message that Dr. King was very familiar with, and that he led out of his faith with. We know that he learned important concepts of nonviolent resistance from Mahatma Gandhi, from the nonviolent movement of Gandhi. And there are two words that I learned I'd like to teach you, and these concepts that were important to King as he led his movement, the movement for civil rights. One is ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-harming. It's an ancient Indian principle of nonviolence, and it means that in Buddhism and Hinduism and Jainism, that all living beings have a spark of the divine. Each and every one of us and all living beings, including our visitors on the hill, have a spark of the divine. And to hurt another being is to hurt ourselves. That violence have karmic consequences. So we should not cause injury to another person through our thoughts or words or deeds. I'm okay with the deeds part, but the thoughts and words, that's a little hard. I find that a little challenging. That's why it's a practice. That's why, if spiritual practice were easy, then we'd all do it all the time. We return to the practice. The other thought is, I have to look at it, satyagraha, or truth force. I think we need a new, in the Department of Peace, the truth force. I could have that. Yeah. Somebody start designing those uniforms. I want to see the uniform of the truth force. Maybe it'd just be t-shirts. I think that'd be good, right? The truth force is a concept that was developed by Gandhi to explain the power of truth without violence to change political or other circumstances. It was a key concept of India's independence movement through civil disobedience, non-cooperation, and fasting. And holding firmly to the truth of global movements for justice by appealing to the conscience of the oppressor. Appealing to the conscience of the oppressor. Now, the cynical part of me wants to say, well, that assumes that they have a conscience. See, thought, word, and deed. I gotta work on that. But we who believe in a truth force, who believe in nonviolent resistance, are appealing to all that we can through the consciousness of justice. Now, Dr. King went to India in 1959, but before he did, Howard Thurman, who was really the theologian of the civil rights movement, he went to India in 1935 to study with Gandhi, and then Bayard Rustin, who was one of the architects of the March on Washington and really brought nonviolence into the movement, went in 1948. These ideas of nonviolence had been growing within the, I'll call it the theology of the civil rights movement well before King got there. So he was stepping into something that was already grounded. And I think this is so important. Ideas begin somewhere and they move from place to place. This fabric didn't just show up here one day. It was woven somewhere. It was a part of someone's skirt or shirt. It went through some iterations. Maybe it was passed down. Maybe it was passed around. And it wound up here. And this won't be the end of it. These will do something else someday, right? So ideas move through time. I want to say a word about Dr. King and Islam. Of course, the closest connection that we might reach for is the dynamic between Dr. King and Malcolm X, as he was one of the leaders of the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam is one particular way of thinking about the words of Muhammad, and may peace be upon him. And they didn't always agree. King and Malcolm X very much disagreed in the ways to move the civil rights movement forward. But King's core principles of justice, equity, unity, and judging people by their character, not by color, resonate with Islamic teaching. They disagreed about the best way to move the plight of African Americans forward. King was for integration and Malcolm X was for segregation. But their history with each other is more complex. And after Malcolm X was assassinated, King sent a telegram to his widow, Betty Shabazz. And he said, while we did not always see eye to eye on methods to solve the race problem, I always had a deep affection for Malcolm and felt that he had a great ability to put his finger on the existence and root of the problem. He was an elegant spokesman for his point of view, and no one can honestly doubt that Malcolm had a great concern for the problems we face as a race. That's respect. That is a harmonious way of thinking of who they were together. And Dr. King knew something about Unitarian Universalism. When he was in Boston working on a graduate degree, he attended Unitarian and then Unitarian Universalist churches. He was familiar with our idea that each of us has a piece of the truth, that God loves us so much, in the parlance of the day, that none of us would be damned to hell. That's the universalism in the Unitarian Universalism. And that together we source out the truth. We read the signs of the times and understand what is coming. King was a prophet, and that is the role of the prophet. Not to see into the future in some kind of magic way, but to read the signs of the times and tell us how we should go. And so, here we are. How do we move forward? We get the grief and the grace on the same day. We get the bad news and we get the sunrise on the same day. It's felt that way this week a lot. This coming week in Minneapolis, an organization that I was a part of when I lived there, March Multi-Faith, Anti-Racism, Change, and Healing March, a group of interfaith ministers and lay people that started, it's got its roots in the fight for marriage equality in Minnesota, and then it came together to do racial justice work, has called clergy from around the country to come to Minneapolis in an echo of King's call to clergy to come to Selma. Yeah. On the day that King called clergy to come to Selma, the next day the Unitarian Universalist Association board was meeting in Boston, and they convened their meeting, and then they paused it. What do you say, suspended the meeting. All went to Selma and regathered as a board. It was that important. So clergy from all over the country are coming to Minneapolis this coming week on Thursday and Friday to learn, to witness, to find their prophetic voice, to hear each other, to comfort each other, and to come back to the world, to the rest of the country, and tell us how we move forward, to solidify those words of theology as we move forward. There is only one place in the world that I would rather be than in Minneapolis this coming week. It's really hard not to be there. And I'll be with family, because that's the thing for me to do. Because we each take a shift for the revolution. Because what is true is that we go on and live our lives in the midst of this apocalypse. We must go on and live our lives. We take care of our children, we take care of our parents, we take care of our neighbors. We do the work that is ours to do this week, right now. And when the time shifts again, we take our shift for the revolution. So we don't have to be all things to all people all the time. We can't. Not possible. And we can, I think of justice so much more as a relay than certainly a sprint or even a marathon, because I have to hand off that baton sometimes. And it's good for me to hand off that baton. Other people are doing the work. I'll say that we are doing the work, that in this town people are doing the work. Last night at the Ames Warming Center, there were 6 and 8. And the night before, there were 6. And tonight, the warming place will be open. Yes, any night that it's under 10 degrees, is that right? The warming place here in Ames will be open for people. And they're looking for volunteers. That information is in my newsletter this week. The Social Justice Circle is going to be meeting, and we're talking about Amos. And the work of Amos is to build community. Find out what you're interested in and who else wants to work on it. How do we keep building this beloved community? Each one of us with a different perspective. Each one of us woven and continuing to be woven in strong tapestry. When is it my turn for the shift, for the revolution? Because we are all in it, people. We are all in it. And we have to let it all in. Let's sing Precious Love. Precious love, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, Lord, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on into the light. Precious love, take my hand, lead me on. May we notice how good the soup is. May we scream when we need to scream. May we let it all in. Blessed be, and may it be so.
Let's sing together again, and rise with me in body or spirit, and we'll sing in Every Woman in the World.
Let us extinguish all of our chalices here and those with our friends online by saying together, "We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again."
As always, we end with gratitude for all who helped make this service possible. Our guest musician, not really a guest, friend, Reggie Greenlaw. Thank you. Amber Anderson, our pianist, Madison Mayfield, our music coordinator who brings us such good music here each week. Our tech team, Melissa Neeson and Titus Klinge, thank you back there. For all the folks online, we are so glad that you have joined us today, that you found your way here, and we hope you'll stay around. Go back to our website and click on Join Coffee Hour to join the coffee hour. For our facilitators, for Ben and Sarah, thank you so much. For everyone who was a part of today, the greeters and the coffee servers and the treat bringers and the cleanup crew, everyone, we're so glad that we are a part of this together. May you go in peace, may you be blessed, and may you be a blessing. Reggie, play us out.